Hello and welcome. Today we're going to do some breath-based yoga. Part one will be from a lying down to a seated position, and part two in a separate video will be from a seated to a standing. Taking a few breaths in and out through the nose. Just feeling the breath move in through the nostrils. Soft belly inflates. You can draw that same breath right up to the collarbones. Full yogic breath, pause, and then breathing out, imagining the breath leaving from the collarbones back down into the base of the breathing vessel. As the belly shrinks, and there's that connection to the pelvic floor. So all we're doing is completely relaxing the whole body, especially the breathing vessel from the nostrils to the pelvic floor. And we're simply breathing in and allowing the belly to inflate first. Keep inhaling to draw that same breath up to the collarbones. Pause briefly, and then breathing out through the nostrils, ideally, imagining that breath leaving the body from the collarbones right down back into the base of the breathing vessel as the belly shrinks, naturally, still relaxed, just naturally shrinking as it comes to the end of the exhale, because we're switching on those muscles of forced abdominal exhalation in the lower part of the torso. Soft belly, breathing in and out. Relax your neck and shoulders, your tongue, jaw, and lips. Come into a lying down position. You can have a little flat pillow, folded blanket is fine. Clear your mat so you've got plenty of space beside you and at your feet. Breathe in, knees and nose to center. Breathing out, say knees to your left, nose to your right. Feeling the belly shrink and feeling a slight twist in the belly as your knees and nose turn to the opposite sides. Inhale to each time you come to center, and exhale, knees say to the right, nose to the left. Feeling the belly shrink as you come to the end of the exhale, as you come to the end of the movement. And just do that a few more times. Breathe in, knees and nose centered. Breathing out, knees and nose to the opposite sides, right to the end of the exhale, feeling the belly shrink. Inhale back to center. And exhale, knees and nose to the opposite sides, coming to the very end of your exhale. Slowly coming back to neutral. Take a few breaths here through the nose, breathing in and out in a constructive rest position. Then take a strap, and you can take the strap, let's say, around the ball of your right foot. I'll do the same. You can use a tea towel or a rag of some kind. You don't need a proper yoga strap. Hold on to the strap low, so away from the foot, but then swirl your hand up the strap towards the foot. So it's just basically acting as an arm extender. Breathing in, breathing out. You can extend your left leg long, placing your left hand on the left quad to remind you to keep both legs engaged. So we're pushing equally out into both heels. It's not just about flexibility. It's about building your core strength. Some people that are already really flexible, they could do with reining it in a bit and focusing on building their core strength. If you're really tight and inflexible, then of course you could focus a little bit more on the flexibility. But building the strength will also help build your flexibility if you've got both of those aspects in mind. So breathing in, breathing out, pushing into the heels. Breathe out, slowly take your right leg wide. You don't need to collapse it all the way down as far as you can manage, especially if you're quite flexible. Try and hold it up off the floor and build a bit of core strength. Try to get your hand closer to the foot rather than the foot to the floor. And we're really feeling it through the back of that right leg. Breathing in, breathing out, maybe take it a little wider. Make sure your neck and shoulders are relaxed and you're not stressing or straining. Slowly come back. Going to keep it on the right foot. We're going to switch hands. You could take something like a bolster onto your left side. You could use a couch cushion, something similar, a rolled towel. Something solid and firm like this is quite helpful. Not that you necessarily need it, but it just gives you a little bit of space. Hold on to the strap low, swirl the hand up the strap towards the foot, and then breathing in and out, you could bend your left knee and lower it to the floor. So you've got a bit of a sort of a slow down system so that you're not collapsing your right leg down. You're slowly levering it down. Remember, the most important thing is hand close to or on the foot rather than foot to the floor. But when you're in this twist, you'll find it much easier to get the leg down. Try to keep your chest open to the roof so it is still a twist. You can take your right hand and slide it along the floor away from your shoulder. That's going to help pin your right shoulder down to the floor, and it might even tilt your face to the right slightly as well. Take a few breaths here, breathing in, breathing out. Soft belly, trying to inflate gently against that deep twist so it feels a little bit active. And then the soft belly easily finds it's able to exhale and shrink because of the deep twist. So the exhale feels relatively passive. So it's a gentle, active, relatively active inhale, soft belly inflates, and a relatively passive exhale, soft belly deflates. From here, we can release and use your bolster to support yourself with your leg from knee to foot. If you don't have a bolster, you can just use the floor, but it's better to keep your hips in alignment with something like a bolster. Alternatively, you could just lie on your side with your knees bent. You could have even, say, a little pillow between your knees. See, I've got a pillow there. My lower shoulder is reaching forward, my left shoulder, so that my chest, when I relax, is relatively tilted slightly to the roof. And I can cross my wrists over my chest and relax my arms, taking a few breaths here through the nose, returning briefly to the natural breathing rhythm, feeling the soft belly inflate and deflate. From here, we're going to do inhale through your lower left nostril, exhale through your upper right nostril, same as me. You can use your left hand. The thumb can block off the left, your index finger can block off the right. So we're going to breathe in through your left, the lower nostril, switch over and breathe out through your right. This is a Chandra Bedana. We're stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, but we're also clearing the right nostril because that's the one at the top and that's the one we're exhaling out of. So it's inhale through the left and exhale through the right. Nice and slow. For the last three, see if you can breathe in through the left relatively actively, maybe with a soft belly inhaling first. Soft belly inflating first. Inhale through the left. Then keep inhaling to draw that breath like a full yogic breath we did when we were seated right up towards the collarbones. And then like a balloon, we can switch nostrils and imagine the air, you've sprung a leak, imagine the air just wafting out of the right nostril and let that exhale take as long as it needs to until you feel like the whole body is deflating right down to the end of the exhale. See if you can do that twice more. Inhale through your left, relatively active, full yogic breath, soft belly inflates. Keep inhaling. Don't bust a gut, just be gentle. Draw that same breath right up to the collarbones. Pause and then switch nostrils. And imagine you've sprung a leak through your right nostril, letting that air just waft out at its own pace right to the end of the exhale. There's absolutely no rush for that air to leave. You're not forcing the air out, you're just allowing it to leak out at its own pace. Last one, inhale through your left, actively, soft belly inflates, draw the breath up towards the collarbones, and then switching over, exhales if you've sprung a leak, just letting the air waft out of that right nostril all by itself. Once you've completed, just resting your arms over your chest. Try and relax your whole body. So you're actually on your left side, but you're not holding yourself in any particular position. Your limbs are all relaxed. Your neck is relaxed. Your jaw, tongue, and lips are relaxed. And you're briefly returning to the natural breathing rhythm. Then we're going to slowly come onto your back, and you can just switch over to your right side, but so that I'm facing you, I'll come to this end of my mat. Take your strap into your left foot. Have your bolster handy on your right side. Hold on to the strap. So left foot, left hand, swirl your hand up the strap towards the foot. Remember, it's most important to have no bend in the elbow, to have your hand as close to the foot as possible rather than the foot close to the floor. Extend your right leg long. Place your right hand on the thigh. Breathe in, pushing out into both heels. Breathing out, slowly take your left leg wide. Left hand, left foot. Breathing in, pushing into the heels, breathing out, slowly take the left leg wide. If your left leg is miles away from your shoulder, make sure you're not bending the elbow. So rather swirl your hand closer to the foot. Breathing in, breathing out. If you're super flexible, rather than having your leg lined along the floor, we want to make sure that this opposite buttock, so your right buttock in this side, doesn't lift off the floor, so we're not shearing through the back of the hips, through the sacroiliac joints. So rather contain yourself than overstretch. Try to keep that idea of flexibility and strength. Breathing in and out. Then slowly bring your leg back. Now we can have the bolster there to support our legs. Switch hands with the strap. So left foot, right hand. Again, hold low and swirl your hand up. Bend your right knee and lower that down to the floor. That's just going to help you to not just collapse down suddenly, but to really slowly lower your left leg down, keeping your chest open to the roof, keeping your hand as close to the foot as possible without a bend in the elbow, reaching along the floor with your left fingertips and anchoring your left shoulder to the floor, potentially tilting your face also to the left. So not using your neck muscles to turn away from the foot, but to use your chest opening up and you're reaching out into the left fingertips to tilt your face out to the left. Take a few breaths here. Soft belly trying to gently inflate in a deep twist. Soft belly easily able to exhale because of the deep twist, because the deep twist is sort of almost pushing the air out for you. So the inhale is relatively active, gentle, gently, and the exhale is relatively passive. Then release. Come onto your right side. You can have a bolster here supporting you from the knee to the foot. You could instead have the pillow or bolster between your legs like this, both knees bent. Or you could have nothing if you didn't have anything. Just maybe straighten your legs or bend your knees if you need to. Make sure your lower shoulder, so your right shoulder is slightly shuffled forward. So even though you're on your right side, your chest is slightly tilted to the roof. And you can relax here with your arms. Try and relax your whole body in whichever way that you find is best. Soft belly, returning to the natural breathing rhythm. From here, we're going to inhale through your lower nostril, your right nostril, and exhale through your upper nostril, your left nostril. This is a Surya Bedana. This is stimulating the sympathetic nervous system. And it's actually also clearing your left nostril because we're exhaling through the left and we're on our right side. So we're going to inhale through your right And exhale through your left. Inhale through your right, the lower nostril. And exhale through your left, the upper nostril. For the last three, see if you can inhale through your right actively, meaning soft belly, breathe in. Keep drawing that same breath right up to the collarbones, nice and gently. So a nice, gentle, big, full breath in, and then switching nostrils, exhale through your left, but let it be completely passive, like you've sprung a leak out of the left nostril, and let that exhale take as long as it needs to waft out without any effort on your behalf. So it's an active inhale through your lower nostril, your right nostril. Soft belly inflates, draw that same breath right up to the collarbones. Pause, switch over, and then exhale, just like you've sprung a leak. So no forced exhale, just letting the air waft out of that top nostril, your left nostril, and let it take as long as it needs to for your whole body to deflate into the floor. And last one, when you're ready, inhale actively through your right, your lower nostril, soft belly inflates. Keep drawing that same inhale right up to the collarbones, but make sure it's nice and gentle. And then when you're full, pause, switch over, and just like you've sprung a leak through the left nostril, just let the air waft out at its own pace. So no pushing of the air out, just let it come out at its own pace. That's really going to help slow down your exhale. So even though on this side we're stimulating the sympathetic nervous system through your right nostril, we're also giving a bit of a wink to the um, parasympathetic nervous system by that nice, slow, passive exhale through your left nostril. And then crossing your wrists, relaxing your forelimbs, soft belly, and returning briefly to the natural breathing rhythm. Then slowly come back to neutral, back to center. Coming into constructive rest with your feet on the floor. Let's say take your right leg over the left, your right leg on top. Now you can have a bit of a gap between the thighs if that's more comfortable. You can close the gap between your thighs if that's okay. And you can also tuck your right toes under your left calf if that's uncomfortable. So you're binding the legs. Then we're going to do the opposite with the arms. So your right leg's on top. We'll take your right arm under the left. Bring your right fingertips to the left wrist or hold on or bring palms together. Breathing in, lifting your elbows up high. Let your chin tilt up, head on the floor. Breathing in, breathing out, and drawing the elbows down towards the sternum. Maybe resting one part of your hand on the third eye center. Take a few breaths here. Just a lying down Garudasana, eagle posture. Relax your tongue, jaw, and lips. Try to soften down into the natural breathing rhythm. Then release your arms, release your legs. Take your feet together and let your knees fall wide. Rest your hands on the belly and rest briefly in Setu Bandhasana, reclined cobbler's pose. Great for the liver meridians and the three main meridians running up through the insides of the legs, the spleen, pancreas, the liver, and the kidneys. Making sure your tongue, jaw, and lips are nice and relaxed and your round head isn't being held awkwardly via your neck muscles. You're letting your face tilt slightly to the left or right as you're relaxing into your exhale and your heavy head melts into the floor. Slowly bringing your knees back to neutral. Take your left leg on top of the right. You can have a gap between your thighs. You can close the gap between your thighs if that's comfortable. You can bind your left toes under your right calf if that's comfortable. There's no need to go right to the extreme. Be really careful of your knee. And just being comfortable in your legs is the most important part. Crossing the legs in any of those three stages is perfectly fine. So it's that cross patterning of the limbs that's helping to affect the two hemispheres of the brain, as is the alternate nostril breathing that we just did. So with your left leg on top, we can take your left arm under the right. You can take your left fingertips onto the right wrist. You can hold on to the wrist. You can bring your palms together. Breathing in, lifting the elbows up. You can let your chin tilt up, head on the floor, head on your pillow. Breathing out, squeezing the elbows down towards the chest. And you can rest some part of your hand on the third eye. That's a really important balance point in the body, the third eye, the Ajna chakra. It's the end point for those Ida and Pingala, the yin and the yang meridians of the body that crisscross from the pelvic floor up through each of the chakras and end at the third eye, meeting up with the central channel, the Sushumna Nadi. Try to relax as best as you can in this position, particularly through the tongue, jaw, and lips. Breathing in and out through the nose, both nostrils, soft belly rising and falling, but returning ideally to that natural breathing rhythm, the involuntary rhythm. Slowly release, uncross the legs, feet wide, breathe in, knees and nose to center, breathing out, knees to the left, nose to the right. Inhale back to center, exhale, knees to the right, nose to the left, right to the end of the exhale. Do that a few times each side. Breathe in, breathing out. Breathing in each time you come to center, breathing out each time you take your knees and nose to the opposite sides. Ideally following your own rhythm. Once more on each side, breathe in, breathe out. And inhale, back to center each time, exhale, knees and nose to the opposite sides. Breathing in each time you come back to center. And let's say roll over onto your left side. Take a few breaths here. Make sure your neck is always supported. Relaxing your tongue, jaw, and lips. And relaxing all four limbs. And then slowly come up. Carefully coming onto all fours, breathing in, little lift of the sit bones, opens the chest, open the throat, and you can look up and into the brow center. That's energetically extending the back bend, but it's also connecting you to the top of the breathing vessel. The breathing vessels from the third eye, which incorporates the nostril breathing, and the pelvic floor, the base of the breathing vessel. Connecting your eyes up and into the brow center. Be really gentle. Don't overstrain your eyes. Is a nice way to bring balance into the body because of the third eye being such an important area of balance. Then relax the eyes, breathing out, tuck the tailbone, hollow the chest, lower the chin. And if you want to connect to the base of the breathing vessel, your pelvic floor, you could look down and in towards the tip of the nose. So relax the eyes, breathing in, lifting the sit bones, opening the throat. Don't jam the back of your neck to look physically up any higher, but rather energetically look up and into the brow center, Shambhavi Mudra. Then relax the eyes, breathing out, tuck the tailbone, hollow the chest, push into the hands, lower the chin, and look down and in towards the tip of the nose, Aguchari Mudra. Once more, relax the eyes, breathing in, lifting the sit bones, opening the throat, not too far with your neck, but look up and in with your eyes only, Shambhavi Mudra. Relax the eyes, breathing out, Tuck the tailbone, hollow the chest, lower the chin, and look down and in towards the tip of the nose. Aguchari Mudra. From here, with the toes tucked, you could breathe in, breathe out, and lock the knees into the solar plexus and focus on pushing into the hands, a little squeeze of the shoulder blades. Breathing in, breathing out, slowly unbending the knees. Notice how that bows your shoulders forward. So as a counterbalance, pushing into the hands and squeezing the heels down towards the floor. Breathe in, slowly come forward into a push-up. Lower the knees. You could lower the hips. Now, see how my shoulders are overshooting my wrists? I could bring my hands a little further forward, lowering the hips, looking up and in towards the brow center. Shambhavi Mudra. Breathing in, breathing out. Relax the eyes, slowly hinging back, squeezing back with my toes still tucked, squeezing back with the buttocks towards the heels. If you need to bring your hands a bit closer, feeling the sensation through the soles of the feet. Great connection into the kidney meridians. Really important for grounding. Really important for spring. Great in winter. Grounding is important all year round. Quietening the mind. Breathing in and out through the nose. You can take a block just to rest your forehead down, untuck the toes, and relax your neck and shoulders. So it doesn't necessarily mean you need a block, maybe a thick novel or a book, textbook. It's okay to touch the floor. You can take your knees wider. But what you don't want is to walk around like this. And so over time, we prefer to keep the neck in line with the spine, and that's what the block can help you with. Relaxing your neck and shoulders, resetting your elbows, making sure you're not propping yourself up with tension in your shoulders, trying to breathe in and out through the nose and feeling that gentle weight of the forehead on the block, soft belly inflating and deflating.